Good morning, planner friends. So I thought I'd share with you what a typical kind of planning routine looks like. And I thought I would just do it right now in the morning, get it out of the way, because if I stall, then it'll probably never come up. And I do have some plans that I need to work through on my weekly spread. So I thought I'd just hit the record button and show you that there's really nothing fancy or special to my routine in my Hobonichi Weeks. But a lot of you guys have been requesting what my pages look like. So I'm going to show you. It's so simple. I'm telling you, my Hobonichi Weeks is not the place to get beautiful, aesthetic, productive setups. Now, while it's productive for me, it may not work for you because my spreads are just kind of like a chaotic dump, but it kind of works for me. I thrive in chaos, I realize. For some reason, like my brain can like decipher all of the scribbles that I have in here. So that's why I'm kind of shy to share my pages because not everyone's going to get it. But again, this isn't for everyone. It's just for me. But I'm going to show you kind of a little sneak peek. Oh, also you wanted to see how I added on my A6 the charms. So I'm going to show you how I do that as well. One thing that I do before I go to bed, I kind of set the important things that I need to do in the morning, like right here. It's like boom, right in my face. So you'll see I have these charms because again, my intention was to show you my morning routine and I wanted to show you how to add this. So I put this here so I don't forget. And then I also, I wrote out this little thank you note for a supporter on my coffee shop. I have a zine and stickers I need to send out that came in last night. So I'm going to add this in here. And then also I have this. I know this is weird. It's odd because you're like, what is that? But it's a printer test, a color ink test. And I have some printables on my Patreon that I need to do a journal with me. And I noticed that my ink, in the last couple of videos, I kept saying like, oh, my ink is running low. And while the ink is full, I think it's something to do with the cartridge. So I set this out here to remind myself to look up maybe a tutorial or some information on how to maybe clean the heads or kind of fix it. So all the things that need to be done are kind of like boom right here in front of my face. But I need to get some matcha. I would say like within the last month, I have really been into my matcha phase. And it's so weird because last year, well, just previously, I was not really crazy about it. And all of my friends that enjoyed it, they're like, what? How do you not like matcha? But you guys know, like, I was all into my London Fog and my Earl Grey teas. But now I just, I get the matcha hype and I am like obsessed. So what I do, this is my own little recipe, my little spin. I get 2 tablespoons of, not tablespoons, no, not tablespoons. I'm sorry. Whoa, teaspoons. I get 2 teaspoons of the matcha powder. Use whatever brand that you like. I'll link down below a few that I have enjoyed. And then you want to put in about maybe like a splash or so of hot water. If I had to do like a guesstimate, I would say this is probably like maybe a tablespoon or so. I just kind of eyeball it, just enough to saturate all of the powder. And I don't have like a proper matcha whisk, but hey, you know, this will do. This will do. Don't come at me, please. I just use a regular frother. And what I'll do before I turn it on, I kind of just like spin it. I kind of like just do my own frothing in here, and then I'll lightly whisk it, just like a little bit, because this whisk is really strong, so I don't want to do it too much, but just enough where I know that the powder is, you know, coated. Now, depending on the mug, like this has a little bit of texture because it's kind of bumpy here on the bottom, so I'm working against the grooves on this handmade mug, but I don't feel like using my smaller mugs. I need a big mug this morning. So yeah, I just kind of froth it like this, and then I can see that there's no more powder. And then what I will do, I will add a little splash of vanilla extract. This is, you know, personal preference, just like literally it's just a splash, maybe like half a teaspoon. like that. Personal preference again. And lately, well, what I have been doing is adding a teaspoon of brown sugar because I do like it lightly, you know, sweetened. But I found this this Starbucks oat milk creamer lavender latte. It's like a vanilla lavender, and I know lavender is not everyone's like cup of tea, but again, last year I really enjoyed the taste of lavender lattes, especially with my Earl Grey teas. So then what I'll do is I will add this. I do measure out. I do about two teaspoons. Again, it's all personal preference because this is lightly sugared, so it gives a little bit of the sweetness. But if you don't like lavender, you can use white sugar or, you know, brown sugar. I prefer brown sugar because it tastes richer. And then this is where I will go in with my, instead of milk, I really like the taste of oat milk because it's thicker, it's creamier. I usually go for the Oatly barista version, but this Chobani, I really have been enjoying Chobani. So I just pour it about, not completely to the top because I'm still going to put some ice. I would say about 8 to 10 ounces. If I do anything more than that, then the matcha tastes watered down. So I pretty much can tell by the mugs that I use. I can eyeball it, and then I'll just go in and use my frother because it's already, you know, dirty. I have to rinse it off. So I just go back and I use it, and then ta-da, it's good to go. And then now that it's getting warmer, it's almost springtime, which is nice because when the summer comes too, I'll really enjoy having this ice treat in the morning. I've been trying to lay off coffee because usually that has been my go-to, and I would use, you know, this would taste really good in coffee as well, but I've just been on my matcha kick. So let me give this a taste here. Yep, it's perfect, just the way I like it. Okay, and I also have my journal here because again, everything for my ADHD mind, I need to see things visually. Like if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And if things need to be prioritized, they kind of need to be in my face, which is another reason why I really enjoy the process of documenting my tasks on paper. If it's on my phone in an app, the apps are, you know, out of sight. They're like somewhere in another app, or in another window. With my planner, it's like boom, right here on the table. It's always around me, whether it's in my handbag, on the table, on my dresser, on the counter. So I find myself more productive when it's always in front of me. So my journal, I have this out here because after I do my plans or my planning for the day, I like to reflect or do some type of like memory keeping, or like using this as like a commonplace. And hold on, I'll get to my Hobonichi, but on my section, because this is another thing a lot of you guys want to see as well, is like what or how do I use, you know, my journal. And this is a perfect example of just using it however I feel fit. This spread is dedicated to like ephemera and washi tape that I come across. So I've been collecting kind of like food labels, and these are just washi that I recently got from an order. And I have this tissue paper here because I recently ordered something, and the seller, they include like this cute sticker. So little things like this is just what I keep and I document. Oh, I don't have my tape. Okay, but either way, it's here. And I purposely left this out here because I did not want to forget to take that off. But okay, let's get to the Hobonichi Weeks. A few things that I need to go over. Normally what I'll do is use a page flag so that way it holds my place of where I'm at, or I will use like my paper clip and it will just kind of keep it here. Looking at my weekly spread, today is Wednesday. I know that I need to now send out in order that came through. So this is like my top priority. One thing that I enjoy using with the Hobonichi Weeks is like a multi-barrel, or I should just say I enjoy color coding. I really need a red because the red for me, it highlights a priority. It's like red, alert, attention. This is something you need to, do, prioritize over others. So I always have a multi-barrel around me, or at least some type of red pen, because this is something that cannot typically roll over to the next week or maybe every other day. Like it needs to be done like as soon as possible. So top here, I'm gonna say send out. It was on my coffee shop. So coffee shop orders, I had 3 go out. So this is definitely important because I want to send this out today as it's through like USPS snail mail. And then I also, another thing, I wanted to check my printer for the ink levels, because checking my printer will then also allow me to do my printables that I have for Patreon. Just little fun little things that I kind of created. So I need to do that because I want to do a video, a journal with me video using the printable. So I definitely need to check the printer. That is like important. And another priority is, this is where I need the morning to like reflect and focus. So that's why when I wake up, I don't even like go on social media. I don't open up like Instagram or YouTube because I will get distracted. My mind will spiral and I'll just, time will pass me by. I need to get this out ASAP. There was, because I'm looking at these items. I noticed that I did not check these off and I did not circle them, which means they haven't been done. So this FedEx return, technically it's in red because it needs to be done like somewhere in this week. And ideally I wanted to do it on Monday, but my logic was, well, if I'm going to go out into town, I rather just do like multiple errands. And I was waiting for a few things to come through in my PO box, and they have still not been delivered yet. So ideally, like this week, I need to get this order out before the deadline. So I still have this FedEx order. I think so. This is where I circle it because it's like bring attention. And then my jet pen, my jet pen's ETA, that I can check off. That was in red because it was scheduled to be delivered, and I wanted to make sure I definitely checked my mailbox. And then, so my PO box, supposedly I have some stuff that was sent. I need to check that. So these are all like priorities I need to keep like my eye on. And then other than that, so I have like a Patreon. Speaking of that, I need to do things that aren't really important, but I would ideally like to do. I will document in these other colors, black, blue, or green. Usually when it comes to like video ideas or anything kind of like, that's social media related, I will do in blue. Because if I write in black, sometimes I know it's like black is just like a memory keeper thing, a statement more like last night I cut down a notebook and that's just kind of like a memory. So what I want to do, that reminds me. Okay, hold on. I had check PO box. Okay, I needed to actually check the tracking number when I finish this video. Tracking number. Okay, so I definitely need to do that because that said it was supposed to. And I needed to pay an invoice. Oops. I did see that come through in my DMs. So pay invoice for folio. So these are definitely important. These are things that need to be done today. So yeah, that's kind of like what my planning process looks like. Back to the color coding. So green, ideally what I would like to do is post this YouTube video. So I'm just gonna write it up here because it's not really a priority. Like I don't want to stress my mind putting this on the left side, because the left side I like to reserve for tasks that really need to be done to keep me productive. The right side is more just kind of like play, pleasure, joy, hobbies. And this YouTube video, I'll say like a Hobonichi Weeks. This is not mandatory, but it's just kind of like ideally I would like to Hobonichi Weeks. Ideally I would like to post this for you. And then, oh, actually I do need to post, that reminds me, I do Patreon prize video. Yeah, I need to get this up. Okay. And then I have some, oh, you know what? See, when I'm in the flow of like writing and planning, like more ideas will come to me. And that's the same process when it comes to like my journaling. I'll just be in the flow and then like more creative ideas will come and I'll jot them down. And that reminds me, I did have something coming that I need to check on. Black waves. Even though this is Express. Okay, I need to do a video on some updated fountain pens. Again, these aren't priorities, just ideally. And then I need to do a new journal setup. My handwriting, I know it comes off very sloppy, but you know, again, I can read it, and if I take my time, like you can see how fast I'm writing, but if I like take my time trying to make it perfect, then the next thought will like leave me. Like I don't know if it's my brain, the way I think, and I don't know if you can catch it when I speak sometimes too. Like I talk really fast because I'm thinking really fast. I have a lot of things that like kind of come at me, and when I'm in my creative flow or my creative state, I have like so many ideas that are just like bam, 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 like just coming, and I just need to hurry up and get it down. Oh, books. Yeah, okay. So that was another thing that I want to do. So blue, I'm going to switch to a blue color because what I want to do is, actually this is kind of the same right here. Okay, I'm going to switch to blue. There was a new book that a friend recommended, and this is more just kind of like a journal entry that I will just I don't really have a process of where my notes go. I just kind of look at the page and then I just kind of see like where it needs to be, where will my eye gravitate towards. And for now, I just kind of feel like it's going to go here. So check out DCC book. Okay, so a book friend, she recommended this like book to me. I'll talk about it if it's really worth it, if it's good, but it's like some Dungeon Carl book. Okay, so I'm gonna look into that. And then, oh, okay, so this is like where I'll also do like memory keeping. And this week I actually, okay, speaking of memory keeping, you see right here where I wrote, I think I want a typewriter. I wrote that on Monday because I was inspired by seeing a clip of someone like using a typewriter on top of their photography. They printed, they had like their photography print, and they were typewriting on top of it, and they were sending it out to like their customers. And I thought, oh my gosh, do I need a typewriter? I mean, I know that's nothing new, I've seen that done before, but for some reason just seeing it, like it hit me, and I thought, oh, I need a typewriter. So I made this little note to self, like, I think I want a typewriter. So just something like this I'll go back on, and if I want to expand or if I want to, you know, do some research, then I will transfer any information or work through my logic in my Moleskine, because these pages are very small, and all of my ideas, I don't want to waste, you know, this weekly page, because I have potentially other things I want to document, like meal preps, planning, you know, other notes to self. And then my handwriting is really big, so even if I use the notes on the back, because this is the mega version, so it has like 200 extra pages, it would take up a lot of room. If you're not familiar with this Hobonichi Weeks size, it's very comparable to a pocket size. Like the width is exactly like a pocket size, like right here, but then you actually have like maybe like 2 inches higher. So if you like the width of pocket, I think you'll like the Weeks. You just have like a little bit more extra room up here, and it has, you know, your weekly planning and your monthly planning, which is nice, which I'll show you on the page that I haven't, right here. So you can document your appointments, you can write gratitude or just like a little memory that happened, and then the weekly spread, as you saw, it's just like blank like this. So it's really nice, and it's very light and portable, which is what drew me to the Hobonichi Weeks, you know, years ago. I especially love the mega version because of all these blank pages. With my mind, I don't know, I have this fear of like running out of pages, and ever since this brand came out with their mega version in like 2000 and I think it was 18, yeah, I liked it because now I don't have to worry about if I have enough notes on the back. Back to my weekly page. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so this is pretty much what it looks like, you guys. Where was I? So typewriter, and then, oh, okay, Crescent City. Yeah, so this is where I'll do some light memory keeping, and I will, like right here, maybe, okay, yeah, I'll still keep the blue. I think what I'll do, I'll document it on the top. Right here, I'm going to put started Crescent City again. And, you know, again, to some people this may look kind of messy and chaotic because everything's kind of like crammed in here, but for me, I can decipher this. Like I can see, okay, this is color coded, this blue is some type of like note, this red is a task, you know, some type of green is like an idea, so it works for my brain. But the reason why I like to just quickly jot what comes to mind is, again, if I want to expand on it, I'll remember what the original thought was, because sometimes I will have, you know, a memory that I want to capture, but I don't have the time to expand on that memory. So for example, if I went to like the park, right? I'll write down like went to the park, but if I met someone and I had a good conversation, or my dog did something funny, like maybe I'm in the middle of something, I don't have time to document like the whole event. I'll just put down like went to the park. And then on the weekend, usually on like Sundays when I have time, I'll look back at my weeks and I'll flip through and I'll see like, oh yeah, I had that note. And that's also where these page flags come in handy too, because I will use these, and if it's something I really need to revisit, then I will flag it like this, and then if it needs to be expanded on, I will then use my expanded Moleskine journal and go more into depth, like met this new person, blah blah blah, you know, had a good conversation, we talked about this and they gave me some tips, such and such. Okay, that's what I'll do. And then I can, when I'm done, I'll just take this flag off, and then I will, this is my little DIY pencil, or not pencil board, it's kind of like just like a dashboard. I made it in my last video, if you haven't seen it. It's just like junk journal with me, or journal with me. So yeah, that is how I use that. Oh, so back to the Crescent City. Okay, so what I'm going to expand on with that, so yeah, I started Crescent City, but I want to make note of this because this is like my third time getting into it. And I started last year, I couldn't get into it, but then a friend recommended listening to the audiobook, but the dramatization version. And yeah, it really makes a difference. I wish more audiobooks would, maybe it's the budget, but I wish they would consider doing that for a lot of stories, because I think it would really get people into like reading. So I really have been enjoying that this week, listening along to the dramatization version on audiobook, but also like reading along on my book, because it has like the sound effects, the whoosh, the wisp. It has like different character voices, and it will have like a little bit of music in the background. So it's like you're listening to a movie. It's really good. And I definitely have gotten further in the book listening to that than if I were like reading it, because it's been a struggle. So now I think I'm on like chapter 25 or so. And yeah, I'm getting into it. So that, I think, okay, let me show you how I add my charm while you are here. Let me just take a sip. Now you can use any charm that you would like. These are just some Snoopy charms that I found at Michael's. I got these last year, so I don't know if they still have these, but they have other, you know, other decorations. They have like Hello Kitty, Melody. I mean, Michael's, they also have like different charms in general. If you look in their charm bracelet section, they have really pretty charms. So here is an example. This is Woodstock, and it's not really a secret because I've shared it in a few of my videos. Especially, did you guys see this one where I showed you how to make your own DIY Traveler's Notebook? Yeah, I shared it in that one. So if you're into Traveler's Notebooks, check it out. But since you're here, I'm going to show you. All right, so get some fabric glue, fabric tack, and you're only going to need a little bit. What you want to do is get your charm. You don't need to use tweezers. I just use them because when I have the fabric tack, you know, it's not on my fingers. So the charm, which one do I want it on? I'll probably put it on, let's see. I'll do the black one because the threading is kind of coming undone. So all you're gonna do is thread this, okay, thread this through. I mean, the tweezers definitely make this easier. You can use your regular like eyebrow tweezers, or if you have these special tweezers for like your stickers, to peel off your stickers. Okay, so you're just going to, you know, thread it through. And then when you get your fabric glue, you're only going to need like literally like a little drop. Like, you won't even need that much. Put it towards the end. Okay, just like a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see? It's like literally, it's a little. And now, okay, let's get the charm. And then you're going to put the charm towards the end, and then you just fold it over. Okay, because my threading is kind of coming undone. Okay, so you're just going to clamp it together like this. Just hug the pieces together, like squeeze them together like that. And there you have it. What is that? Is that? Oh, that's from my pen. It's almost instant, like you can just let it go. I'm gonna wipe this off, but you can see here, ta-da, there you go. I don't know if you, okay, yeah. So just let that sit for just like literally a couple of minutes, and then you're good to go. And you have your charm. By the way, this could not have come at a more perfect time. As I was getting ready you know, for the day, I was listening to a video and I came across this quote. And this is just to show you how, you know, I journal. When I say I will document and write down quotes, I will usually put it in some type of like scratch pad or my pocket journal, my spiral notebook. I had my Hobonichi Weeks. This has been my everyday kind of like mini planner. So anyway, I heard the quote. I hurried and jotted this down on my Post-it notes. The Post-it notes are nice because it makes it transferable. And then, okay, let me show you. Let me just show you. So I wrote it here, and then I stuck it in, because this is the week that we're in. I stuck it in here, so that way when I journaled tonight, this is a reminder, like, hey, Michelle, transport this into your moleskin. But since I have a little bit of time, this is how I do it. So in the evening, as I'm recapping my day and just jotting down my gratitude, or also future planning for tomorrow, thinking about, tasks that need to be done, or work, or preps, I will flip into my little planner. And these Post-it notes come in handy because, they're just nice little reminders that I can place somewhere else if I need to archive this. I like that I have it on a Post-it note because I want to remember this quote and I want to put it in an archival journal versus like a planner. So, because my journals are something that I refer back to more often. And what I would do, I would just get the Post-it note. Now, if I don't have time to journal, but I want room in here, then I'll just take out the sticky note and then, I'll put it on the next blank page. Or if I don't know exactly where I want this quote or whatever this is that you jotted down, this memory, this poem, then I will just stick it either on like my monthly spread, or I will stick it literally like on the front of my journal because I always have to open it up. What I used to do in the past, because this eventually it got so full of sticky notes because I had so many ideas for like art journal spreads and long form journaling like sessions, then I would just stick it in the back. As you can see, what is this? Some books see, as you can see, what is this? I had some notes already to self. Book of Azrael. Okay, a friend recommended that book. And then what's in here? Oh, paper ephemera. Right here, you can see I already did that. I wanted to expand on this. I wrote down my ideas have a life of their own. So I can just stick it in here because I subconsciously know like this is where my brain dump kind of goes for things that I have thought of or that I want to remember later down the line. You know what? I actually remember writing this quote or writing this down. I put some books take just a little more time to get into, but the payoff of it is chef's kiss. And that's something that I wanted to expand on in maybe in another video, but also in my reading log for myself. I wanted to remind myself that sometimes if the book doesn't pick up in the 30-40% mark, it doesn't mean that the rest of the series is bad or not to quit, which I'm not normally a quitter by nature, but time is precious, and if I am assuming that the book is not going to hold my interest, I rather just jump into another book because I have so many on my list. And the series that came to mind specifically was Throne of Glass. I struggled to get into that series, but all of my book friends, they were like, just push through. And while the story is not bad, it was just, the first two, it was just hard to kind of like swallow. But by Queen of Shadows, oh man, I even wrote all about that during Thanksgiving because that's when it finally started like picking up for me. You could see, and I started jumping into this because it was moving into the new year and I didn't want to use a new journal, but I definitely wanted to write down my thoughts because I was so impressed. And yeah, Queen of Shadows is finally when this series picked up for me. And I distinctly remember during the Thanksgiving weeks, I had time off and I devoured that book within the week. All right, so thanks for hanging out with me in the morning. I hope this gives you a better idea of just how easy and simple I use this Hobonichi Weeks. I mean, it literally just is like my planner. So if anyone asks how I use it, I'm going to refer you to this video because I don't have any. Oh, I do have some trackers, but maybe I'll share that in a different video. I'm doing a spending tracker, a habit tracker, but again, it's really just me writing out the the habit, my routine, and then just marking off the boxes. And then my spending tracker, maybe I'll share starting in March if you're interested in it, but really it's literally just me. I'll just show you like a blank page. It's going to be, writing out March and then the date, what I bought, how much I spent, and then it's all the way like this. And then I can tally up how much I have been spending because I'm trying to be mindful of my stationery spending and keeping it below like $100 or $200 a month. And then this Velcro sticker, I get asked about this a lot because I understand not everyone watches like every single video. And no, the Weeks, this is a Hobonichi Weeks cover, a clear cover. It does not come with these Velcro dots. I put these on here. I'll link below the ones I use, but you can literally just look up Velcro sticker dots, get them at pretty much any craft supply store. And the way that the Hobonichi cover looks, it has this flap here, and it's actually nice because you can use it as a placeholder. So if you want to keep your place somewhere, that's, from my understanding, what it's used for. It's a placeholder, and then you can kind of like thumb back to where you want it. But I like it as a actual closure, and I put the fuzzy side right here on the actual flap, and then the toothy side on the back, like this. And then you can move it closer if you need to, if yours is like chunkier. But this is really nice too because it holds my my pens in place. So if I want to, it's just like extra secure. So even if I have a pen in here, I can still use the Velcro closure, and it's just like an extra level of security, I guess. For now, I think that's it. Yeah, maybe I'll show you. I do a little bit of light journaling in here. It's very light, it's very minimal. An example would be, and the reason why it's light and minimal is because I like to reserve like bigger journalings for my bigger journal, my moleskin. So, you know, like this big spread, I could not really do this in my Hobonichi Weeks comfortably because I like things to be like bigger. I like things to be more like in a book form, or I like to do like creative, you know, like art journaling. So that's why my Hobonichi Weeks, I try to like limit it to just little jots. You know, I just do things like that. But some things that are fun to do in here is, you know, testing out like watercolor. I love to tip in like ephemera. I notice that's like kind of like my thing. I don't know, I like the look of just sticking in random paper bits that I come across. And lately I've really been enjoying testing out inks and colors with this new paper. I like the way, I am starting to understand like the hype. Like I see why you guys like that crinkle noise. It's very satisfying. And this paper is very, very thin. But again, like with my big handwriting, I mean, just to show you, I can only get like usually 4 like words on a line, 4 or 5 words on a line. I don't have the small controlled handwriting like a lot of Hobonichi lovers have, which is, you know, like the small, fine writing that can fit in these grids. And I noticed that a lot of people that love Hobonichi grid paper typically have really nice, fine handwriting. Mine is very big, bold, sloppy handwriting. So I think maybe that's why this doesn't work as like also a daily like art journal for me. You see, just as I turned off the camera and I got ready, I actually had a new thing to document, and it was actually a new apple pie recipe. Well, is it a pie? I would say it's apple cake. So that is something that I want to do somewhere like here during the weekend. I want to try this new, it's not really a new recipe, it's the same ingredients that I shared here, but I've been meaning to right here, I've been meaning to add the 3 apples, and I'm actually going to mix them all together. So that is something that I want to try this weekend and see how it turns out, because I like to have my little treats during the weekend. So that's a little note to self, but again, it's not in red because it's not really a priority, but it's just a little memory that I want to keep here. And then I got off the phone with a girlfriend of mine, and she shared a new it's kind of like her secret sausage recipe. So I need to get cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna try some garlic, and I'm trying to see, I want to hurry up and capture this because I don't want to forget. Oh, she says she adds spinach. And this is the Italian. And then she used her secret sauce. Secret ingredient. Just in case she watches this video. I don't know. She might be like, why'd you share it? Okay, but I'll know what this is. So that's just something, I'll put this maybe off camera, but that's something that I want to add. Oh, my rice. I need to get some more jasmine rice. And is that all? I think that's all yeah, so I just jot down like little notes like these. Let me know if you guys enjoy using the weeks as well, how you use it. Do you use it more as a planner, memory keeper, or both? Do you find yourself using maybe the A6 more or the cousin? Because there are different sizes. For me, I get asked about the cousin and how come I don't show that anymore. And truth be told, it's because the only reason why I bought it and I was committed to using it was because I was excited to use fountain pens. I really wanted to use my fountain pens with it and use like all of the inks that I have within my collection. But we all know what happened this year, and the paper quality is kind of like inconsistent when they're known for their good paper quality. And my A5 cousin unfortunately was bleeding. It was bleeding through with the inks, and I could only use like ballpoint pens. Even my gel pens were bleeding, my Sarasas, which I really like because they're very bold. So I figured, well, if I'm going to use my ballpoint pens, then I could have just, stuck with my Moleskine. But what was so interesting is that my Moleskine expanded blank version turned out to be like a win. This turned out to hold up very well with fountain pen and dark gel inks. I mean, I always show this, but here, is a little, there's like no feathering, no bleed through, and even on the back when I did some ink swatches, I was surprised that, yeah, there was no ghosting or feathering on here. So now I just kind of gravitated towards the Moleskine for my fountain pen writings, which is interesting. Okay, I think that's it. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy my matcha now and get ready